Hey guys, it's Burgess here, and today we're going to talk with Ason's leadership, which is Danny and Cloud at the moment. So, my first question, guys, is from where you come and what happened in the season one? What was the path of your alliance?
Yeah, sure, no worries. So we are originally from server 31. We created an alliance named GOS on the first day of the season. We landed in Sophrosia, and we decided to make all of Sophrosia one big alliance, work all together, just in order to get into this next zone, take on the bigger alliances, because we weren't small, but there were alliances, and in order to try and beat them, all you can do is work together. And of course, there are some alliances that disagree with your plans. They felt like we were dictating them, blah blah blah. So we ended up in some wars with some other alliances, and we actually got our ass beat pretty good. So what we decided to do was take our loss as a man and just reach out to the leadership and ask if we could do a merge or whatever, work together. And we ended up merging. Um, we kept our leadership as well, so that's how ancients actually became a thing. And we just kept growing and growing, and eventually we reached rank 2 alliance in server 31.
Oh, that's nice.
While we were working together with server, we were working together with the rank 1 alliance, which is now actually DX. And that's how we actually just became bigger and bigger and bigger, and we shared all the rewards. We fought on all the other alliances that were against us, and that's how we just kept going bigger and bigger. And that's how Ancients became what it is today.
So you mentioned DX; they are pretty big part from this season. I mean, this division. What was the relationship there? I mean, are you guys was in war? Are you guys united?
So in season 1, there was different leadership in SN, which is now DX, and we were allied since day one. I think it's the best ally you could ever possibly wish for. Um, And then they decided to quit the game. Jason, the current leader of DX, took over. And in the beginning of the season, there was a little bit of trouble. In my opinion, it all was just one big miscommunication in the end. But at the time, we don't know, and then the trust issues try to play a role and those kind of things. So we had a little bit of a fight, but nothing crazy. And we actually ended up in the same region as Jedi. So we were like, shit. There's only one thing we can do. Let's go against DX and just side with Jedi and then just see what happens. We're not gonna let this alliance die. We're not gonna let Jedi rule over us. So we allied with Jedi. We chose to stay independent as ancients, since we like to stay as ancients. And we actually fought against DX. We beat them. We beat them very well. And then we still talked with DX, and it was all actually like a friendly war. Like we decided no city hits. I think we even did no farm killing, but of course there will always be some people that do it. Um, but it turned out pretty good, and in the end, it made the bond between Jedi, DX, and Ancients only better and better, resulting in us three actually working together now to the end of season, sharing the end of season rewards, those kind of things.
Mhm. Okay, but how your alliance with the Jedi happened? I mean, you don't know them. Is there political way or there was some kind of war? And
Yeah, we didn't know them actually. Like we knew of their existence. We were told they were gonna go into a different region. Uh, so them ending up in the same region as us in the beginning was like, oh, like what do we do now? So we just reached out to them and we're like, yo, we want to work together because there's no way we're gonna be Jedi. Um, like, can we work together and just see where it ends? And in the beginning, they wanted R5. They had a bit of trust issues as well, which I completely understand. So we handed them R5. I think within 2 3 days they just gave it back and were like, okay, we trust you guys. Let's work together and let's make this shit work, you know.
Okay, so you unite with Jedi, and how the war with Dix, from your point of view, go? Is there what was the good sides? I mean, basically the whole war from your point of view.
Uh, I think we did actually really good. We had a bit of activity issues because we had a pretty boring end of season in season one because we had to wait a few extra weeks before we actually got into the next season. So a lot of people were AFK. It was summer, so a lot of people were just going on holidays, doing things. So I think we only had like 20, 30 people actively fighting, and it was two of them against us, and we beat the out of them. Like we beat them up real good. Um, because I think, in my opinion, that's Ancient's power. We may not have the numbers or the actual power, but what we have is we fight with our brains. We use all the territory in our advantage. Like we try to play it so smart that the enemy can't just beat us with power, even if they outnumber us. Because I think we were being outnumbered like 120 to 40 at one point, and we still beat them. And it was power-wise, it was basically the same.
Yeah, there was a split there, if I remember correctly. Jedi go directly against DX and NCDX,
Yeah.
and there was two other alliances. I don't remember correctly. DX with minus or something like this. So yeah, you basically guys fight with two alliances with
Hmm.
J02. I was in J02.
Yeah.
So yeah, so far for DX, I mean about the fights. What was your feeling when everybody united together? DX with Jetty against the BX family.
Um, well, to be very honest, I think there was still a bit of trust issues because of what happened, because we didn't really get the chance to talk about everything. We were just too busy focusing on the war. And I never told my people like everything that happened. Like, of course, I informed my members about what happened, but I didn't tell them it was a friendly war. I wanted everyone to go in as if it was like an actual war. So they were like determined to beat DX. And so when we like allied all together, I still had my like doubts about DX and Jason. But I think in the end it turned out very good. Like we had some talks and like we talked about everything, and now we can like see each other's point of view. And I think it couldn't have gone any better. I think the whole thing with Jedi and us siding together, and then they were of course talking with DX because in order to beat BX, we all needed to work together. And I think us siding with Jedi made it just so much easier for everyone. So I think it turned out very good.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking about the BX or the whole BX family, what do you think about this whole family? I mean, together, how they fight, how they
Uh,
perform in the battlefield. What is your opinion on this?
they got a lot of fighting power, that's for sure. They got some heavy hitters, of course, with the Fisto, which is like a huge moral victory for them. Like having such a player in your alliance, it just gives people such a boost. Like they would just want to follow you into battle, no matter what. Um, but to be very honest, I think they made a lot of mistakes during the season. Of course, everyone has spies on Discord and whatever, so we had some inside information about them as well. And we knew their leadership was crumbling a little bit, so that made it just a lot easier for us as well. But I still think they put up a very good fight. Like, you can't underestimate BX family at all. Now, I know people talk a lot of shit in the chat, like, people are very toxic. Even I have said some things. It's all part of the game, but like I think they did fairly well. I think they tried everything they could and just gave it all.
Yeah, I would agree. And speaking about the BX and DX, which fight was most hard for your alliance? The fight with DX or the fight with the BX?
Oh no, the fight with DX was definitely more fun. also because we were winning, but because we held like this sort of grudge against them from what happened before the season started. So that made it more fun against us for us. But I think the fight against BX, it was definitely more difficult. They had more tier 5 players. They had more fighting power, those kind of things. Um, I think both are like equally as fun though. Um, we lost a few fights against BX. I think it was our goal we went into. It was more like a distraction. Um, but again, we didn't want to tell our members that we were going in just as a distraction. Like we wanted them to be ready to fight till they fucking die. Oh, sorry, I said something I shouldn't say. uh, we wanted them to fight till they die. Like we needed them to go in like with this killer mentality. Like it's fight or die. And meanwhile, main Jedi and main DX were fighting against BXS, and we were just actually waiting till they could shift their power into us, and we could destroy BXM. So at one point, we had to like destroy some flags, let them come to us, play a bit more defensively, which kind of killed the morale of our players. Which you don't want to happen. Like it's never good if the morale goes down. But in the end, we knew it was a distraction, and the enemy didn't know. So I think it all turned out good in the end.
Yeah, speaking about the Algoro, in Holland there everything was going perfectly. Not maybe perfectly, it's not the right word, but the Jedi and DX, since there was like maybe 6 alliances there against you, it was looking easy there, but in Algoro was a merciless fight. I mean, J02 and J1 and you was there, guys, against 066, BXM, and all the Super BX alliances. What was the
Hmm.
fight there?
It was definitely an interesting fight. I'd say. Of course, they had some more power in total. But I think we handled it actually pretty well. We tried to use the advantage of the terrain, like get to the choke points, play it sometimes a bit more defensively, try to fight on your own territory just to get those extra buffs. Because if we would have fought in the open field, I don't think we could have actually won it, just purely based on power. So what we try to do as ancients is just play fight with your brains, and I think we did a really good job at that, to be honest.
Yeah, you hold your position pretty well. I have one video covering this topic, but yeah. So far for Algoro, do you think BX actually accept the defeat they get?
No, I don't think so. Um, and I understand because, like, me personally, I would keep fighting till the end as well. Like, I wouldn't just give up and accept the defeat. Um, like we did in season one where we got defeated. Um, I just saw an opportunity, so I took it. But they don't have this opportunity, so they can either keep fighting or just give up. And I don't think they will ever just give up.
Yeah, definitely with this firepower that they have actually.
Yeah, it would be pretty stupid to just give up. Um, it shows like a certain kind of willing power if you just keep fighting, even though you kind of know you lost. Um, I think it's good to keep fighting.
Yeah, for sure.
It shows like a certain mentality. It gains respect in some way.
Absolutely. What make Aeson enter in the war that currently I think is pretty much over, but that started before a couple days, maybe 1 week, where the Nephisto broke the Jedi rules or attacked the DX member castle. The member who
Uh,
actually left the BX. Yes, just to say.
mhm. uh, Well, we as leadership from Ancients, we definitely are in like all the council chats with Jedi DX. We are in all the leadership chats. We are on the Discords. We talk almost daily with Jason, Yoda, everyone. Um, but Ancients is like that private army. I think that's the way you can see Ancients. Like we ally with people if needed, but we will always stay as Ancients. And of course, if our ally decides like, oh, the peace treaty is broken, we need to go to war, we'll be there. Like we will have our allies back no matter what. And I think we did very well on that point.
Okay. And my next question is, what Asians are Asians? Sorry, my my pronounce may be wrong. What
Oh,
Asians
no
are
worries.
proud with, and what is this disappointing points
Ooh. Um,
this season? I
I
mean,
don't like to say those kind of things about myself, but I think Ancients has a very um, and I think Jedi and the X can agree on that as well. We have two people in my alliance. They can build like Bob the Builder. It's crazy. They know exactly what to do with map plans. They come up with ideas that nobody thinks about, like, or if we drop a flag here, we can touch them and cut them off, and even without the enemy actually knowing what's going on. I think those kind of points make ancients very strong. We just
intelligence
use our
war.
brains a lot. Yeah. So and also we um as ancients leadership, we I'm just not on my own. It's like six of us, five or six of us, and we do everything together. Like nobody, we're all equal. Just because I'm the R5 and like the face of ancients doesn't mean I'm more than anyone else. Uh, a bad thing about ancients?
What is disappointed from this season? Is there something?
Uh, no, actually, I don't think there's really anything. We struggle a little bit with the activity, so what we try to do is host like little events for our own alliance. Because of course we have some people that don't spend money or like just spend a little bit of money. And with the current whales in this season, it's very difficult to get into like a strongest lord event or whatever. So what we do in Ancients is like host our own strongest lord event. Uh, just basically the same idea as strongest lord, but just for Ancients. And then just giving away some gift cards, like some gold chest or whatever, just to try and keep that activity going, keep the people motivated to keep playing. Because I really understand that like a 15 million player, you just get wiped in the blink of an eye against a tier 5 player. Like there's nothing you can do, and that can really like demoralize. I don't know how to fucking say it. The it can like
Demotivate.
lower your morale.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, I make a test, one video which I test how many Legion tier 4 can kill a tier 5, and there was like 4 tier 4 Legion can kill a tier 5, which is really great advantage for the tier 5 units. So I
Yeah.
totally understand. Also, I'm 20 something millions. So,
Well, I'm like T4.9. I can start the tier 5 research right now. I just haven't done it yet. There's some tier 5 I can actually beat, but just the trades are so bad. Like I would get like 20k severely wounded, and they would just get 10. And that's just the thing. The tier 5 in this game, it's so overpowered. You kind of need it at this point, especially going up against like BX or whoever. It's just any tier 5 will just whoop you. It's it's crazy.
yeah, they have definitely a lot of tier 5 players.
Yeah.
Okay, my next question is, what is your future plans for ASUS? Are you going to go to other server? Are you going to stay in the server 31? Is there plans already set it up?
Yeah, we actually discussed this. Well, we're still discussing it a little bit, but we are looking to stay in server 31. And since DX is from 31 as well, we will be going with DX, still remaining as ancients, still independent, but also still like an ally of DX. There's also words of Jedi coming to 31. Um, but with the migration being a new thing, we don't know exactly how many people will be able to get into 31. It's a bit tricky. We would have loved to stay with Jedi, of course, because I think we have a really good bond together. We know what we're both capable of. We trust each other, so I think that would be a very good thing. But just to ensure our own like future, we decided to go with DX actually, and just stay in 31, see whatever happens. If Jedi makes it in, it's gonna be Jedi, DX, and Ancients again. And I think with those three combined, it's game over for everyone else.
Yeah, it will be peaceful server, I guess.
Yeah, well, if we, I'm not really certain about what's gonna happen next season, as this season or just like server 31 on its own. If it's 31 on its own, it will be DX versus Jedi, but just like a friendly war, no city burning, but everything else goes. And then I think Ancients will just either choose a side or stay on their own, and then we'll just see what happens. Just all about having fun.
Okay. Do you think the split of the rewards between Jerry DX and CDX J02 was fair? I mean,
Ooh.
frames, behemoths, stuff like this.
Uh, yeah, I'd say so. Uh, we tried to give as many people from also the sub alliances a chance to get rewards. But of course, Jason being Jason, he wants DX to be a known thing in the community as well, which I completely understand. So, how they reach the world record for the Necro Giant, like those kind of things you can't do with a JO2. Um, and I don't want to down talk JO2, but you need a lot of power for those things. Um, like even with end of season rewards coming up, we as ancients have been granted 20 spots in DX to get the highest end of season rewards. So in my opinion, yes, it's fair how we shared everything.
Okay. Let me just check some other question. Well, I don't think I have more questions. So, yeah, thank you very much, Danny. Thank you very much, Claire, for coming here and share your opinion about these seasons. It was really interesting season. A lot of fights, friendly, non-friendly. There was some castle burning. I remember your two rally against this gate. I think BXM was defending this gate. It was insane. One of the most view of my clips, over I think 2,000
Oh
views.
yeah,
Yeah, it was insane. So yeah, thank you very
it
much.
wasn't the trades weren't too good. Trades were actually pretty bad, but in my opinion, it's just about having fun. Like it's a game, troops die, you can retrain them. Uh, you need to have some fun, even if you're losing. Uh, it's all part of the game. Like
Yeah,
people get sometimes too serious in this game, but in my opinion, it's just all about having fun as well.
absolutely, absolutely, and it's fun to watch. I didn't, I was not there, but yeah, I definitely enjoy watching it. So thank you very much, guys. Thank you for spending some time for making this short interview. I hope you have a great weekend and see you in the game.
Yes, same to you, man.